All right, this is Money Part 6, Investing. The second part. Hopefully, I'll be able to finish it up here today. We just talked about scams and being careful about investing. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? So, I want to tell you a big one that's out there today is life insurance. Now, there's scams and there's practical use of life insurance. So, I'm not dogging all life insurance, okay? But IULs, the Indexed Universal Life, people will tell you can borrow from your life insurance like the rich people do, all right? Just know upfront that the IULs, if you're going to borrow money from it, you have to have like over $100,000 that you put into it at the beginning, and you instantly lose a big portion of that they put towards the premiums, and then they invest the rest for you. And then whatever's left over, the cash value, you can borrow from. So in my estimation, you already have to be rich to be able to borrow from your life insurance policy. Okay. However, I do want you to know that there are life insurance policies and they may be good for you, but they're not primarily an investment vehicle. When I was 18 years old, one of my friend's dads was selling life insurance and he asked me how much money I had saved. I couldn't save a dime. I had a savings account. Every time I had $100 in it, I spent it. So I told him that. And he said, I've got a plan for you. I can get you whole life insurance where if you put in $50 a month, I will give you a $100,000 life insurance policy, which you may not need right now because you're 18 years old. You don't care about that stuff. But we'll take $30 of that every month and invest it for you in a cash value so it will be a forced savings. If you don't pay your $50 a month premium, you'll lose the policy. You'll lose your life insurance. So it's going to be a bill. And I'm like, hey, I can pay a bill. I can pay $50 a month. So I did that. 10 years later, I got divorced. And I cashed in that life insurance policy and I bought myself a brand new motorcycle that I would not have been able to do if I hadn't had that forced savings at $50 a month where part of it was being invested for me. Now, that was me as a new guy not knowing anything about investments or savings. Okay. So it helped me in that situation. Life insurance, whole life, IULs, they're basically an annuity. These different investment vehicles can help you, but I'm saying watch out for them because a lot of times they're kind of a scam to try and sell you something that's really not beneficial. And here's why. When it comes to life insurance, and I'm just throwing out numbers here because I am not a life insurance salesman anymore. I've done it in the past. But if you buy a universal life, a IUL, a whole life insurance policy, and you're paying $100 a month, just pretend, and you're getting, $500,000 in life insurance. You're paying $100 a month. Well, they're only taking like a third of that or half of that and investing it for you. So let's say they're taking $50 out of that to invest in the stock market and giving you a cash value. And they're taking $50 of that and they're putting it towards your life insurance policy, right? If you get a term life insurance policy for the same $500,000 deal and you pay them $50 a month, or even you could find it for $35 a month, then you take the remaining $50 or $65 that you would have put in the whole universal life fund and invest it yourself. That way you're not paying management fees. You have control over the money and you don't have to take a loan out and pay interest back to yourself, to your policy. And you have much more control over your own money if you buy the term life insurance, like a 20-year or 30-year term, where the rate stays the same, and then you discipline yourself to take the extra $65 or $50 a month and put it in an investment. So it's a matter of whether or not you have the discipline to invest on your own or ask someone else to do it for you. All right, so that's life insurance. So just be aware of the different types of things and that it's not so much a be like a rich person as an investment vehicle depending on your situation that does not return as much as investing in the stock market on your own would. So let's talk about the things that I would advise. All right, I just wanted to cover that because that's a big thing on the scam on the social media right now. I said that like the internets. Anyway, what you should do when you start thinking about investing is have cash or a savings account. Have cash in an envelope at home. Build it up to be able to use it to to buy silver or gold. I mentioned sdbullion.com. You can go on their About Me part of their website. They are a Christian company. All right. They send Bible verses oftentimes when you buy a 1 ounce silver coin for $30 from them. I've gotten that before. But you could save up your money in an envelope at home till you have $500, then take $250 of it and buy silver. Now you've got cash at home in your dresser and silver under your mattress. So you've got two different, ways of saving money. Then you could build it up again and open a savings account at your bank, or a CD for long term if you have enough cash at home that now you can put $500 in a CD for a whole year and make 5 or 7% interest, depending on, what it is at that time. 5% is actually pretty decent right now. But the point is to diversify your cash, your savings. Have cash. Have 1 ounce silver coins because those don't depreciate in value. Have a bank account, a savings account, maybe a CD. Then when you have $500 extra on top of these things, start thinking about long-term retirement savings. Now, I know if you're only, 18 or 20 or 25 years old, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But compound interest makes a difference over time. Every year that you delay hurts you in the future. It is not a problem for future you. It's a problem for you right now. You need to start investing. Now, one of the things that we have in America is the IRAs, individual retirement accounts, which can contain any type of investment that you want, but it's tax deferred. That's your traditional IRA. What that means is you get your money put into it before taxes. And when you take it out after you've retired and you need to buy stuff with it, then you pay income tax on it. So if I take $100 per paycheck and put it into this IRA, I'm not taxed on that $100. If my tax rate is 25%, I saved that $25. I've got $100 in retirement savings. But when I pull it out, 20, 30 years down the road, whatever the tax rate is then, they'll charge me. So I'll pull out that $100, or maybe it's $1,000 now, right? And they're going to tax me 25%. I owe the government $250. So that's what you're thinking about when you do a traditional IRA. What I would highly recommend is the Roth IRAs. This is after tax. So I have money in my savings account, or I've paid my 25% income tax, or 35%, whatever it is. And then I take the money that's left over and I put $100 in my retirement savings, right? This is a Roth IRA. When I retire, I pull out that, now it's $1,000. I keep the whole $1,000. I've already been taxed. So that's why I recommend the Roth. Now, one of the big things that people fail to do when they're in their late teens or early 20s is the work matching IRAs. So what they'll tell you is once you've been at a job for over a year, you can then invest in the IRAs, at least for most jobs. Some jobs it's right away, okay? But most jobs will offer, like even McDonald's will offer some sort of matching. They'll say, hey, we match up to 50%. And it sounds like a big number, right? But what you need to understand what that means. If you're at a job and you're anticipating donating to or putting money into your IRA for your retirement, if they say they match 50%, you have to read the fine print. What that means is usually up to a maximum of 3% of your paycheck. So what you would do, what that means is if you make $100 and you put in 3%, that would be $3. They will match 50% of that. They'll give you $1.50 for free. Okay? So what you would have to do, that's only 1.5%. So when it says the work will match 50% up to 3%, what that means is out of your $100 that you make, you have to put in 6%, $6, and your work will match 50%, half of that. Half of $6 is $3, which out of 100, that is 3%. So typically, you have to match double what they're saying they offer. If they offer 3%, you have to take 6% of your paycheck every time you get a paycheck, have it automatically put into your IRA, and then you'll get that free $3 per 100 every paycheck. It's free money. You need to take it from your employer if they offer it. If they say they match IRAs or retirement savings, you've got to read that fine print. Now, I've never been anywhere that does more than that, but maybe you'll get a place that does 5% or 10%, whatever. Do whatever they give you for free, because that's amazing. Your goal should be to at least to put in 10% of your income. I was finally able to do that when I was 36 years old. Took me a long time. Okay. But when you can get to where you live off of 90% of your income and you automatically invest 10% for retirement, that's perfect. That's what you want. If you can get up to 20, that's great. But again, try and diversify. If they offer traditional and Roth IRAs, ask if you can put in your 6% and split it 50-50. So you have 3% in a traditional and 3% in a Roth. Always try and diversify. And then, of course, when you invest, you should be, when you have more money and it's not just your job and you have thousands of dollars saved up, or maybe even just $500, you should think about buying things that hold intrinsic value. Goods, land, metal, animals, like a bunny farm, a chicken farm, like whatever. And when I say farm, I mean, go to Home Depot and buy 5 chickens when they sell them. Or Tractor Trailer Supply and buy 5 chickens or 10 chickens and start raising chickens in a little chicken coop in your backyard. You could probably do that for $500. Well, when they grow up, you've got eggs you can sell. Sell eggs for $1 a dozen or $2 a dozen, cheaper than the grocery store. And basically they're free eggs every week. And you make a little bit here and there. So it's an investment. That's what I'm talking about real assets. When I say metal, I'm talking gold and silver. But what about steel and copper? What I don't know enough about that stuff. But you can invest in land. You can get oil rights if you have enough, to invest in that, or to buy a 5-acre piece of land that's over oil and let the oil company come in and drill or run a pipeline through your land or whatever. I mean, there's so many options, especially with people putting up windmills and stuff too. So those are things, as you grow, you want to explore your options so that you are diversifying your investments. Now, when it comes to brokerage accounts and investing in the stock market, obviously get financial advice. Go to your bank, okay? They do have people that will help you with that. But to get started, you could simply go to Fidelity.com, Schwab.com, JP Morgan, Robinhood. You get the phone app for that. I do the Robinhood thing. It's not very much. But always, always, always make sure you understand what you're getting into. Google the terms you don't understand. A good website to go to is Investopedia.com. It's like encyclopedia, but it's Investopedia.com. And you can Google terms and it will tell you what the different things mean. Always seek financial advice. Beware of scams. Beware of investment schemes. Beware of people who will offer to take your money to help you. Go to your bank and get advice. Also talk to people in your church who you respect, elders who have owned a business, anyone who you feel comfortable talking to about your finances. But you need to have a plan and a budget. We talked about that before, and a monthly amount that you can automate. Remember, I started with $50 a month, and I was working my butt off as an 18-year-old, and I had that bill, $50 a month, to go towards that. And if you can do things on the internet as far as an investment account, you need to understand a couple of different terms. Dollar cost averaging. Remember, if something is a good investment at $50, if the stock price plummets to $25, it's probably still a good investment, and now you're getting it for half price. That's dollar cost averaging. You just keep doing that $50 a month and you keep investing over and over again. And you should try and have your goals and your strategy on paper. Keep emotions out of it. Fear is a big one. Oh no, I'm losing all my money. And then you sell and you lose all your money. So you have to be cautious when it comes to investments and invest for the long term. Dividend reinvestment always grows better.